Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just getting.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just getting. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just getting. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just getting. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just.
Okay, sorry. Hi, there's a little bit of interference there. I just have to. Now you can hear me clearly, right, Olive? You should be able to. Great. Okay. Let me just check something here. I'm just getting myself connected. Just hold on for a moment. I just have to check something here and see why I can't. Yeah. Hold on. Oh, I see. I see what the issue is. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Okay, here I come. Here we go. And let me just say hello as I get connected. There we go. Live from the sunroom. What can be a more powerful thing on our planet? Some have called us the children of the sun. Humanity, I love that expression, children of the sun. Good. Let me just check and make sure that everything is working properly right now. So, Olive, you should be able to hear me. And
Yep, you're loud and clear on my end.
Okay. Excellent. So that means if I'm clear for Olive, I'm clear for all 9 others of you. It looks like Ava, Avery Rose, Connor, Jacqueline, or Jackie, I think it is, Jackie Reed, Clarissa. Hello, Clarissa. Nora. Is it Shamim? Shamim, is that how it's pronounced? Shamim Pathan, I think it is. And Vishal. Yeah, go ahead, Shamim. Okay. So we're going to start officially in 7 minutes. We always do it 12:10. I'm just taking this time, the first few minutes, to get fully connected and deal with any tech or tech stress, and also to check my notes and make sure as well that I have everything in place, because I'm hoping that this will be our last class like this, and we'll be back in the global classroom next Friday. That's the plan. Today, I believe, the College Employers Council and the support staff through the union are talking for the first time in 2 weeks through a provincial mediator. So this is a positive step in some ways, and it might mean that the strike will be over soon. We will see, but anyways, let's just see what my lineup is. Oh, there haven't. Oh, okay. Interesting, Avery Rose. Yeah. The latest for all of you is to know is, since Avery Rose has just mentioned in the live chat about no updates for all of you. Yes, you can actually see this in the news today. It probably is even in the Toronto Star, but I can tell you confidently that they are talking, the two sides, today for the first time in 2 weeks. Not because they've come together themselves, that would have been ideal, but because they've had a mediator from the government come in and offer their services to provide mediation. And so whenever there's a mediator who comes in and has to resolve it, it kind of means that the two sides are far apart and they're not able to come together themselves. Let's see, I'm just reading Olive's. There's actually an update a couple of days ago with the Khalid pressing that they won't agree to 4 issues, with one of them being a lie. And yeah, well, there's some other issues for sure. Are you aware, Olive, today that the postal workers as well have gone back on strike? Canada Post? It's just one of many labor actions that has been happening in the last weeks and months this year, and really points to the volatility of the current world we're living in. And we're not even talking about violent conflicts or wars or other even worse problems. I kind of feel the same way, Olive, in a way. I'm not up on all the issues with Canada Post, but I do believe that the management at Canada Post should have seen this coming, in terms of the huge changes that are taking place in the world around delivery, around how we send notes and messages and letters to each other through electronic means now. And why is there not a clear plan in place to deal with this, or has not been one? That seems to be one of the problems, but there are many. And we have to ask a question too about the management at Canada Post. It is a crown corporation, meaning it's run by the government, and so it seems not to have the ability to move more quickly the way businesses can in the private sector. They brought an order to my I'm glad you brought that view in, Jackie. Is it Jackie? Jacqueline Reed. So now we have someone who actually has a parent working for Canada Post. So it's good to have all these views, and we can talk about these things. Hold on a second, okay, before we get too caught up in the moment. I just want to stick to our plan and make sure everything is going to go smoothly today in terms of what you need to learn. But we will have time to discuss the current events, Jackie and Olive and others, because the strike, of course, we need to address in the context of our story of humanity and civilization, which is what we're going to do today. Anyways, let me just check and see. We have 11 on board right now, and I am just going to take us over to a nice perspective for the moment. Hold on. Good. You should all see that wonderful view live right now from the International Space Station. I'm just taking a look at Shamim's note. Yeah, log out and rejoin again, Shamim, and try. If it's a problem, then you can just connect with the class today through live chat. Okay? So go ahead and right now and rejoin. Well, I think we are just about ready to launch. And what better way to launch than to launch in orbit, live in orbit. Welcome everyone to our Friday journey through the human story on planet Earth, a short history of the world. And I don't think there is a better way to begin our weekly class than to pull away and remind ourselves of that incredible perspective that we now have of where we live together on the planet. So there you have it. All of you should see the live view right now from the International Space Station going around the planet. And I would like to just talk in a moment about this view a little bit more. But first, I just want to check and see if everybody is seeing exactly what I'm seeing, and you should. So, Avery Rose, would you be able to jump on your microphone or just go into the live chat and tell us what you see right now on your screen?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, excellent. Go ahead.
Great. I'm seeing the live stream of what was it, weather station you said?
International Space Station.
Space station, sorry. But yeah, I'm seeing the space station live stream.
Excellent. It is a bit choppy. I can't push it out all of any more fluidly than this. But for now, as long as you can see that live view, and I'd like to point your sort of attention to just before the North Atlantic Ocean, where you see it written North Atlantic Ocean. You're going to see some information in the dashboard there about there will be a sunset in 9 minutes, the 12th one of the day for the space station, because it's moving so fast. Sun rises, sun sets many times through its orbit. But let me just make sure you understand just a bit of technical information about what you're looking at. So right now you'll see it's September 26th, and the time, universal time, is 16:11:48:49. That of course is 4 p.m. or so. In 4:11 p.m. in the afternoon, universal time, which is time coming out of England, essentially. It's the prime meridian. Well, I'll talk about that more in the future as we talk more about the geography of the planet. But just be aware that you're getting a live real-time vision of the planet moving at 7.662 kilometers per second. Imagine that speed. And the elevation of the space station right now is at 400 just about 420 kilometers into the sky. And then the coordinates on the planet in terms of longitude and latitude are just below. And that puts us at the North Atlantic Ocean. And you can see the actual space station itself, an image of it just to the left in the small box as it's moving over the ocean. And then to the right in the larger rectangular box is where you see a view, beautiful view of the planet stationary from the space station. And you see one of the mechanical arms on the space station there. So the camera is just behind that, shooting this incredible image. And to begin Short History of the World with this kind of perspective has a lot of meaning that I'm going to explain to you momentarily as we undertake today to really begin the critical part of the story, which is the story of human civilization on planet Earth and what we've been doing. And today is really the starting line. We come to the starting line, the beginning of civilization. And so I'm going to speak to that a little bit later. But first, I just want to check and see who's on board. I always like to think that every class is a kind of exploration or journey, and that I even can tell you that the International Space Station takes about 90 minutes or so to orbit the planet, to go around the planet, moving, of course, at that 7.66 kilometers per second. And so I like to think that our classes, which are about 90 minutes, are a kind of, orbit of the planet. We go around the Earth, and mentally speaking, and we explore the story of what's happened on the planet. So hold on a second. So really what we're doing in Short History of the World is we are standing back as if we're astronauts every Friday and looking back on the planet and trying to understand what's the story on that amazing planet called Earth, and what's the story with those creatures, humans, who have risen higher and further and done so much more than any other creature on the planet. What have they done? Where are they going? So everyone, welcome on board the spaceship global class for Short History of the World. And who's on board today? Let's see exactly. Could you all, just for the attendance, make sure that you put your full names into the live chat right now so I can see exactly who's on board? So just go ahead now and write your full names in the live chat. Excellent. Ava, Olive, Nora, Connor, Jackie, Avery Rose, and I think Shamim will be with us, still getting reconnected. Ijaz, Arifa, good. I hope I pronounced the names correctly. It's such a global audience, or global class with so many students from, and Larissa, good. Shamim, you're connected. Excellent. So we are going to get to the beginnings of civilization very shortly, and I have a recorded lecture that I'm going to have you watch after the class today, or before next week's class. So I'm going to do it in reverse today. Remember last week I had you watch a lecture, and then we came back and discussed a little bit, and I was at the campus, from the picket line, but not crossing it. I didn't want to cross it. So today I'm back home, and what I'd like to do first is just make sure that we, of course, have our note taker. We're going to pick our note taker. I'm going to talk with all of you. There are a number of things I need to talk about, including some housekeeping to get you ready for the first assignment as well. And then we will finish up our class, this portion, in about half an hour or so, okay? And then you can watch the recorded lecture afterwards, immediately afterwards. You can start watching it if you like, and then continue through the week up till next week's class. But we'll do that in reverse, as I said. First, we're going to talk, then there'll be the recorded lecture. Great. So first, who would like to volunteer to be our class scribe today? Get the notes into the live chat, or even better, we can talk about that in a moment. I may just pick somebody, but let's see if there's anybody who wants to volunteer in the live chat. Go ahead, Avery Rose.
I'm kind of volunteering, though I'm not 100% sure how to do this online.
Okay, well, not a problem. I can guide you. I do think, given the depth of your thinking and the quality of your writing so far in the discussion posts, that you would be ideal for this. But I don't want to default to you, okay, too much.
Yeah, okay, so if someone else wants to go, then I'll let them do it. So if anyone else wants to go, I'll step back.
Okay, but I definitely have confidence that you can do it. Okay, well, let's just see. We give a few seconds to see if anybody wants to do it. Okay, well, you know what? This is good. I like what Olive has just said, because this really shows the kind of engagement and interaction that I like in the class. He said he could do it again. If Olive, am I using the right pronoun for you? He, she, I don't know. They, what do you prefer? Is there anything? She, he. So she, so I'll say she, right? And then you're good with that because I've forgotten and I just want to make sure language is so important to me and making it's correct to what you want. So she, great. Okay, so Olive, yeah, Olive, why don't you tell Avery Rose right now what you did last week, and then I can just fill the blanks in, and then we'll move on. Okay, so Avery Rose, Olive is gonna uh, Olive will show you. So go ahead. Is there anything that Olive needs to? Sorry, is there anything Avery Rose needs to know? Olive.
The easiest way I can say to do it is literally just take screenshots of the chat, scroll it down till you've got it loaded with new information that's been sent.
Yes.
Make yourself a Google document and post every image onto there so that you can save everything up.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
You have it.
I'm not used to using a Mac. This is
if you look up, do you have an escape key on the far right of your keyboard?
yeah, I do.
Go all the way to the opposite end, and there should be a button that looks like a pair of scissors, and it should be set called print screen.
Um, sorry if I'm taking up time, Professor. The only key I'm seeing is this key with a circle in the middle.
You know what I'll suggest, Olive? What I'll suggest for the moment, just so there's not too much technical learning in the live class, I try to minimize it too with things. It's a good idea what Olive suggested, but I can even simplify it for you right now. Okay, Avery Rose. The best thing to do is just open up a separate Word document or open up your notebook or wherever you can make notes in your own words. Ideally, it would be a Word document. And then all you have to do at the end of the class is cut and paste it into discussion post 4. It will be your discussion post. And you can just say, Avery Rose's notes. And that will be in the discussion post. And I will then cut and paste that and make a PDF and put that as the class notes with the recording and everything else. You don't have to do anything in the live chat apart from just periodically if I ask or anyone else asks, could you just cut and paste what you have into live chat right now at that moment? But it's not essential. The most important thing is that you're able to take something where you've taken notes and then you cut and paste that into the discussion post class.
I'll admit I'm a little out of my depth here.
Okay.
So I need a bit more time to learn this. I'm sorry. I'll step back.
Okay. No problem. Okay. So
sorry,
Ben,
this just feels embarrassing now.
No, that's okay. We're all learning. You wouldn't believe the amount of tech stress I go through with this class when I'm in the global classroom. So Olive, why don't you go ahead and take the notes again, okay? Great.
Thanks, though.
Okay, good. Excellent. So let us move on. And it's great to see we have 16 students live. Olive is going to be our scribe. And so the next thing I want to address before we start talking about civilization and the beginnings of civilization is I want to take you to an announcement that I made about the first assignment. I want to make sure everybody's clear about this. So I'm going to share my screen. and you will see Shamim's discussion post. I will come back to that, but I want to go to here. Okay, good. Now, just to make sure we're all on the same page, I'm going to ask a student to read out loud what you're looking at right now. So, Ava. Hi, Ava. Are you able to jump on your microphone? Connor, can you jump on your microphone?
Are you able to hear me?
Yep. Go ahead. Excellent. Connor, can you please right now just read to me what you see on the screen?
Like just word for word, or?
Word for word, absolutely.
Assignment 1 should be between 725 to 750 words and should discuss what you believe are the most 3 important developments so far in the story we've been exploring. The assignment is worth 15% and is out of 10 and will be graded as follows. 9 to 10, thoughtful, encompassing, shows excellent integration of course material.
Yep.
And well written. 7 and 8 shows some inclusion of what and some thought of course material, writing errors.
Mm-hmm. Good.
5 and 6 is superficial and shows a little integration. Sorry, my God. Of course material and poorly written.
Yep.
The class recordings, notes, and resources can be found in their individual class folders on the content page on DC Connect.
Mm-hmm.
Please note, AI written sentences and other people's sentences without
attribution.
Okay. Plagiarism will be strictly penalized.
Mm-hmm.
General feedback will be provided in class, and individual feedback will be provided to those students who request it. Select well-written reflections and it will be read out loud in class.
Excellent.
Your assignment should be submitted to the Assignment 1 Dropbox no later than Tuesday, October 14th at 11:59 p.m.
Excellent. Thanks, Connor. Connor, do you have any questions about this, a first assignment that you'd like some clarification on?
No, seems straightforward.
Great. Let's talk a little bit, everybody, about this coming assignment because it's the first big assignment that you'll be doing, and there will be 2 more after the midterm break. So make sure that you're clear on this and that you are clear on that deadline as well, Tuesday, October 14th. I don't want any late assignments. They need to be delivered on time to the Dropbox. So I will just wait for a few seconds to see if there are any questions about this. Everything's posted on DC Connect, of course, but I want to review it here so you're clear on what's coming. So please feel free to ask a question, any kind of clarification you want about what I'm asking you to do in this assignment. Please, Avery Rose, go ahead.
It's more of a nitpicky kind of question or technical. I don't know if you were going to get to it later or not. So basically, sorry, my words are getting scrambled.
That's okay.
Is there any specific formatting you want? Because last time I've had papers where profs wanted either APA or MLA, they wanted citations, they were very specific with formatting that they wanted, but from what I'm reading, it sounds like it's just a reflection of what we've done so far. Is that right? Or do we need cite quotes or am I just overthinking it here?
No, you're not. You're asking the right questions. That's coming in your essay for your final assignment. I will be asking for citations and works cited and research. That's coming at the end of the semester. So right now, no. All I'm asking for is really an extended version, Avery Rose, of what you've been doing with the discussion posts, but with more words, and now with something a little more specific I'm asking you to do, which is to identify the 3 turning points or most important developments in the story. Now I'm actually guiding you a bit more in terms of what I'd like you to write, as opposed to the discussion post where you just choose something that you'd like to write about. So the work that you're getting in these assignments is getting more and more formatted and detailed, but not yet. Okay. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
I think so. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, good. Great. So who wants to speak? Prince? Was it Prince or?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have a question.
Prince, please go ahead.
So when you say 3 developments, like just 3 things we've talked about?
Well, yes, exactly. But now you have to think about what are the most important moments in the story. And today and between now and the time you start to write this, you're going to hear about civilization as well. And in that period of time from the beginnings of the Big Bang 13.7 billion years ago to up until around 5,000 years ago, which is the chunk of time, huge span of time you're going to be able to choose from. You have to sit back and think, what are really the turning points, most important moments, the decisive moments so far in this story that I believe are moments when something has changed, and it's so important that everything changes after that. We call this a turning point or a very important development. So I could, to help you, you will have more to think about after today and next week. You won't be delivering this until October the 14th. So you have, about 2 weeks or so still. But Prince, so far, what would you say is the most important development that has
Um,
so far in the
well,
story? What would you say
I
it
would
is?
I would say like to me like the first one I would say automatically was last week when you was talking about how like people like did things that like changed the world. Like basically you were talking about how like, oh, what made this person decide to like cook meat for the first time?
Ah, yeah.
What made this person decide to like make a weapon to protect themselves or to hunt? Like I think that's very important because we still make weapons now today. We still
Yeah.
cook our meat now today. Like, and if we don't, like it can lead to like sickness or all
Great.
that. So I think that's very important.
Absolutely. So let's even try and distill this down to what was that thing that happened, the one thing that happened that allowed these new things to take place. Are we talking about um, the invention or a discovery of how to create fire on our own? Are we talking about the ability to create a tool somehow from a natural element that would give us more power? We need to define that a little bit more clearly, but you're on it. Okay, so
Yeah.
you will be picking 3 things like that. So the first one you've defined is, the time, we could say, Prince, the moment when humans begin to reshape the natural world for their own power. And then you can describe a little bit about what we were doing. We were taking a stone and we were using 2 hands to create a weapon from that, or we were making our own fire. For example, we noticed from wildfires, caused by lightning, that this was an immensely powerful thing nature was doing. How might we recreate that power? And we did that. And by doing that, we could cook meat, and we could eat a lot more meat because it was more digestible when you cook it and you heat it up. Raw meat is hard to digest, but when you actually put it in a fire, you can eat a lot more of it, and that's more protein. But what you're putting your finger on is a kind of a breakthrough towards greater power for ourselves by taking things from nature and figuring out how to reshape them into something that gives us more power. That's your first one, okay?
Yeah.
So then what might be your second one?
I gotta really like go back in the discussions and see them, but you talking about civilization, I think that also could be my second one.
Yeah, it's coming. So just wait. But do you
Yeah.
understand the concept of what I'm asking you to do about most important developments?
Yeah, yeah.
Good. It's really important because everybody, this story that we're exploring this semester is a massive time frame, a time scale, of that, and you're not used to thinking in these large terms, but we have to be able to find and identify these decisive moments, critical moments when things change. And that's what you have to identify. So Prince asked a good question. I've helped him to understand it. Does anybody have any other questions about the first assignment? And any question is an important one. No detail is too small. Okay, I'm going to move on. And as I said, I would like to end today's class definitely by 1 p.m. And then there will be time for you to watch the recorded lecture if you want, or you can watch it before next week, and you will be writing your reflection on that. But let's just move on and make sure that everyone has a chance at this point. I'd like one of you to read out loud your discussion post from last week. And I'm going to just come back to Shamim, but I don't think Shamim's microphone is working, right? Shamim, your microphone is not working? You want to try? Okay, so we will leave that for another time, but good discussion post, Shamim. I noticed Chris Towns is in the class. Hi, Chris. Are you able to jump on your microphone? I see Nora. Hi, Nora. Are you able to jump on yours? Unmute your microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I think we can. Can you go ahead and just tell us where you are right now, just to do a little audio check?
Hold on a second. When I unmuted, I couldn't hear you anymore.
Okay. I think let me just check. If not, I'm going to share this momentarily. Okay, Nora, I'll let you fix that, and we're going to move on, not to worry. Jackie, are you able to jump on your microphone?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So hold on a second. Stay live with us.
Okay.
I want to share something right now, or at least reshare it for all of you. And we're going to come back to DC Connect, and I'm just going to go on over to the discussion posts. And let's see what Jackie has, because if I remember, it was not too bad. There's Chris, Burnham, Sharon, Adele, Connor, Arifa, Leah, and Lucas. I see so many students are out there in the cosmos. And I'm getting, there's Nora's, there's Princess, Teo, Roxalana, Shamim, Avery Rose. Ooh, Jackie. Am I missing something? Did you not post anything?
No, I did. Not sure why it's not showing up.
Hold on. Maybe I skipped over it. Okay. Discussion
I need a
post.
link to it. I have it open on my browser, if that helps.
Okay. Where is it? Just a second. Arifa, it should be here, and I may be missing something.
Yeah, I've noticed. I'm seeing some posts that on your screen that I haven't seen on mine, which is interesting.
Which one are you looking at right now? The second or third?
The third.
The third.
Yeah.
I'm sure I saw it. At any rate, could you go ahead and just put it into the discussion board right now?
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. Just take a moment to do that, and then I'll refresh. Just let me know when you've put it into the discussion board.
I linked it in the chat. Is that what you mean, or do you mean just post
Oh, okay. You put it in the chat, not the discussion.
I linked to my post in the chat.
Okay, hold on.
Not sure if that helps.
Okay. Yep. Let me try that. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Where did it? Why I'm not seeing this? Anyways, I'll correct this later. Let me just make sure that everybody can see this, and I think that you might not be able to. So hold on. I'm going to do something like this. Jackie, get ready to read out loud what you have, and I'm going to share something here. I'm doing a little bit of stick handling with the tech just to keep things interesting. And I'm going to go to the map of the world right now. And to do that, I have to bring it in here. Nice. And then to do that, I have to come up here. For the map, I go over to the window. Here it comes. Nice map of the world. And I need to share it over here. There we go. And then I come back to it here to ensure that it's nice and big. Okay, good. So now we have, you should see the map of the world. Do you see that, Jackie?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Great. Okay, excellent. And just remember that when I do put up the map of the world, everyone, it's not to scale. As you can see from the distance between the Americas and Africa, for example, if you look at Brazil and Western Africa, they're almost, touching. They're getting pretty close. And of course, the distance between those two parts of the world is much greater. But anyways, this is nice and colorful and vivid and gives us a good perspective, always having this planet-wide perspective. It's really important. So as Jackie reads her third discussion post, again, I want to always remind you to maintain that what is called overview effect. And this is a really good point that make sure you have in the notes, Olive. It is such a critical point. We started today's class with a view of the planet and the space station going around the planet. This type of consciousness, astronauts describe as the overview effect, that the human being has entered an era in which his or her mind or their mind is now opening up to a much broader view of the whole story of humanity. And so when we look at the map of the world like this, we're getting that same overview effect again, but now we're kind of getting closer. We've come much closer than the space station because the space station can't see all these divisions. It just sees land and ocean and water. But what we see now is civilization. We see now the closer view of what's happening down there, and that is that human beings have established themselves on all parts of the world, all parts of the planet. No other creature has done that in the history of this planet and its existence. when Jackie begins to read her third discussion post, try to remember that when she's talking about the ascent of humanity and reflecting on last week's content, she's talking about this bigger view of how humanity ascended and began to spread itself all over the planet, laying the groundwork for civilization. Jackie, as I sort of prepare the groundwork for your discussion post, does what I say make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay, great. So, because I want to help you too as you're reading this,
Yeah.
you know. So please now go ahead and read your third discussion post.
Okay. Okay, I'll start.
Yes.
How did benevolence as a dimension of humanity shape early humans? After this week's lecture on the ascent of humanity, I was struck by the idea of benevolence, or love, as one of the dimensions of humanity. Our ancestors' growing intelligence and curiosity, which led to milestones like tool making and harnessing fire, has been a consistent theme in this course. But benevolence is something that I am left wondering about, as it surely was also present then and influenced our development on some level. Collaboration, for example, was touched on with the cave art and Ernest Gomberg's. I don't know.
Gombrich. Good,
Yes.
good. Yeah,
Theory
Jack.
that
Oh,
their
good,
paintings of
thanks, Gombrich.
marijuana were
Yeah.
not just arts of creativity, but possibly forms of pre-written communication, highlighting the importance of working together. Benevolence also appears in behaviors that offered no immediate survival benefit. Burial of the dead is one such example, as it served primarily to acknowledge those that passed, likely contributing to early humans' awareness of mortality. This awareness may have influenced later religious ideas of an afterlife, reflecting a desire for the deceased to have meaning and continue beyond their passing. After considering these factors, I believe benevolence may have been as foundational as curiosity and intelligence in the ascent of humanity. Care for one another, social cohesion, and transmission of knowledge likely laid important groundwork for future civilizations and our concepts of humaneness.
Yes, yes. Excellent. I know I read this. Why I can't read it now? Oh, I know why, Jackie. I got it. You are in the other. I have two cohorts of the history of the world. You know, so I have 116 students. It's completely full. So you're in the other cohort. You're in the other. I knew because I thought that this was excellent because of how you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've zeroed in on benevolence, which is, and I want to address this. So let me just come back for a moment so that we can actually talk for a second. And Jackie, are you able to share your video? If you can't, don't worry about it. But it'd be nice.
Not exactly right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody, what Jackie just put her finger on is something that I did talk about in my earlier lectures. And one of the reasons why I also wanted her to read out loud her post, or I would have any of you read out loud your posts, is when they're done well. And that means very, very critically that you're engaging with the course content, which Jackie clearly does. You're integrating the course material into what you write. And that tells me she's writing in her own words and she's listening. She may have had a little bit of help if she needs from Grammarly for little things in the writing, but fundamentally she's writing in her own words. I want to speak to the way she wrote this a little bit. Then I just want to address something else and then we're going to move on. And Jackie, if you have any questions, please feel free to jump in. But I just want to spend a few minutes. Think of this as general feedback for all of you. For the students who are having some difficulty and whose marks are low, you will have heard from me already, or we have already been in contact and I'm providing you with individual feedback, but I can't give individual feedback to 226 students. I have this semester, I have my 114 in short history of the world. I've got my other 50 or 55 in humanities destiny and 56 in global leaders. So I'm pretty maxed right now. Every class is practically full. So I can't give the feedback to every single person that I would like to. So I have to give some general feedback like this. And I will be positive generally when I do this. I wouldn't select a student's piece to write if there are problems, because it's not fair to the student in front of everybody else to be so critical. I'll do that privately. Jackie has not only listened to the content, and she's also written in her own words, but it's very specific to what I want you to be thinking about. What some students are doing in their discussion posts that you must not do in the future, particularly with your assignments, is to copy other students' discussion posts and then just rewrite them a little bit. Don't do that. You're going to get a 1 or a 0 for that. Okay, so do not do that. Okay, you've heard it straight from me. The other thing too is AI right now allows all of us to cheat constantly. But the way I'm able to detect AI immediately now when I read, because we don't even have applications now that can detect AI, like Turnitin can't do it very well. So it's often up to the instructor to be able to know with their instinct and experience what it is that they're seeing. And I generally know it's AI immediately. If the student is not really talking about the lectures, but is giving some sort of general explanation about something that really speaks to the content, but isn't referring to the things we did specifically. Jackie talked about the author, Ernst Gombrich. Jackie talked about milestones or breakthroughs. We've talked about that. And most importantly, Jackie picked up on the idea of benevolence or humaneness, another meaning for humanity. That's all specific. But if it's really general and it's really, really well written flawlessly, that tells me it's AI. So I want you all to know a little bit more about my marking process and how I'm able to evaluate something that's authentic and something that isn't. I will say finally to this, I have just learned this week that the college is now beginning to look into a new program called Visible AI. Have any of you heard of this application, Visible AI? Have any of your instructors talked about it? Just curious. No? Okay, Avery Rose. I'm going to assume that of all the students who are in the live class right now, nobody has heard of Visible AI. Oh, Innocent, yes? Would you be able to jump on your microphone and tell us what you've been told? Yeah, exactly, Olive. That's the idea. Okay, well, I won't wait for Innocent, may have a problem. Okay, I'm just going to say as kindly and as supportively as I can, and I may be wrong. I am so used to the excuse of my microphone is not working. I'm pretty sure I know what that means, which is you don't want to use your microphone. I'm not going to push you on this, but I'm going to tell you from a professional context, if you're out in the professional world and your boss or someone asks you to switch on your microphone and you say it's not working, I'm not sure you're going to be working for very long at that company. Okay. So unless I'm wrong, I think it's just an excuse, okay, for not wanting to engage. Now, let me just address Olive's point and then I'll move on. I may start using Visible AI in the future, and I will introduce it to you slowly. And essentially what it is you would be doing all of your research and all of your composing and all of your rewriting in an application, like right inside of it, online. So I can track everything and see literally the breakdown of how you've been using AI, what your prompts have been, and how much of the actual content of what you've been. Yeah, good, Olive. Let me just, I'll check that in a moment, okay? Students who've been using this in other courses have really liked it for one important reason. They say it levels the playing field. The students who are working really hard to write in their own words, they now know for certain that when it's all done in this platform, they feel like all the students that are cheating will now not be able to, or the ones that are lazy will have to learn how to think for themselves. So just be aware that I may start to use Visible AI, and I will show it to you. Okay, but let's take a quick look, and then I think we're going to conclude in a few minutes, okay, because it's approaching 1 o'clock, and I want to give you time for the recorded lecture. But Olive has shared this link, and I'm just going to take a look at it. Yeah, great, Olive. This is it. I'm going to share this, and let me come back to here. There it is. Good. Excellent. So look at this application. I would just take a moment now to familiarize yourself with just what you're looking at. You don't need to do anything more at this point than simply understand that this exists as an application. And you will notice in the top left-hand corner, Visible AI for Academic Integrity. And if you would like, you can spend some time on this on your own time, but you don't have to at this point. Just be aware that it's likely going to be coming in this course, that I'm going to, and I'm thinking about it, of doing the second assignment with this, and possibly even the final assignment with this. And this will really help us to maintain the kind of high standards in this class that are so important. And I'm just going to speak to that briefly, and then we're going to conclude. There we go. It is, Olive. It's accessible. It's friendly. And most importantly, I'm going to bring this back to our big story, and then we're going to conclude. And if you have any questions, just hold them for a moment, and then I'll come to you in a minute or two, and then we're going to finish our live class. We are living in an era today, you and I, it's called the third millennium, the 2000s. And the year is 2025. Humanity all over the world, in every corner, every society right now, is dealing with the extent of machines and technology in their lives. We are living in a time of incredible technological expansion. And this is something that you're going to see in the beginnings of civilization, and how civilization began to grow, and how we created this huge technological connected planet-wide civilization in just 10,000 years. You're going to see in that there is an irreversible force in our lives. And it comes from a place that's very deep in the human story. Humans love to make things and create things with their two hands. That bipedalism, remember, that we developed. You saw how that developed through the ascent of humanity. We freed up our two hands. And the result is that we began to reshape things, rebuild things, and our brain too began to grow. Literally, the neurons in our brains began to grow. And my point is, we can't stop the desire to create new technologies. Those are tools. We can't stop that. We love to do that. The question is, do we know how to make sure that those tools don't control us and change us into something different? Maybe something more like a machine, a cyborg. The fear that we have, many of us today, and Jackie put her finger on this, is that in the development of greater and greater technologies, embedding them more into our lives, wearing our technologies on our bodies and having them inserted into us to help heal our problems inside our bodies, that we may become more like machines. In other words, that we may lose our humanity. We may become colder, less benevolent. A program like Visible AI is just a small example of what we humans are really good at too, which is we see there's a problem, which is AI is being abused to such an extent by people all over the world. We need to develop a new way of managing that in our education system so students don't abuse it and become, much more ignorant. And so I'd like you to think about this as we close today's class and as we go into the recorded lecture, Civilization. The idea that while we love to create the new technologies that can sometimes disrupt us and confuse us, we also have an ability to solve the problems that those technologies create. And I'd like you to keep that in mind as you begin to watch what human beings have done in the buildings of societies and civilization. You might think that our future sometimes is dark because technology is dominating our lives so much. But then just remember, we came through an ice age. We figured out how to resolve that. And then in this small way, here we have AI. Everybody's talking about the problems that it's creating. Now we have a new application that might help us to solve those problems and stop the cheating and make people smarter and help them to understand how to use AI so it helps them and augments their intelligence, doesn't replace them. I'll stop there. Avery Rose, did what I just say make sense to you? Or
Yeah, I think it does.
good.
Okay. I don't know if you saw the post that I put in the chat, but what you were saying about AI and how we love to create things and how our world's becoming very integrated with tech, it reminds me of these two films,
Yes,
RoboCop and iRobot,
that's right.
mostly iRobot,
Yeah.
because I guess in a way it almost mimics how we're living and the big scary what if there's I guess ever since tech has become so integral in our lives, there's always been this what if AI got smarter and started to see
Yes.
us as insignificant. I don't mean to scare anyone, but I guess I find it interesting how films like this, sci-fi in a way, where they explored the what ifs, even the film Wall-E, it,
Oh,
it
Wally's a great example, Avery
it
Rose.
is again like we've the people in that world have become so have been so attached to tech and a certain way of life that
Yeah.
and even environmental wise it's I don't know, like what you were saying, I guess bottom line is reminds me of films like Wall-E and iRobot, where they explored the big what ifs. If we keep continuing as we are we going to end up this way? Are we going to end up that way? Or are we going to end up a completely different way altogether?
Yes. Avery Rose, excellent. And I always love to end on a student's good thought. So let's end there. For now, we're past our time. I'd like you to now, after I conclude, go and watch the Civilization recorded lecture in the class folder, class 4. And before next week, your discussion post, the 4th one, if you would like full 5 out of 5, you need to ask a question and provide the explanation, 225, 250 words. If you just simply pose a question after today's class and nothing more, you will receive 4 out of 5. And if you do nothing, you will receive just 3 out of 5 for coming to the class. Okay? So, Avery Rose, please go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I don't see a 4th discussion board on DC Connect.
I have to do it. I have to. I'll create it today, okay? Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, and for our notes, Olive, please just take the, when you're finished.
Already done.
Already done? Okay, is it on? And then could you, since there's no discussion board yet, could you then repost them onto the discussion board number 4, and I will have created it in the next couple of hours, okay?
Okay.
Are you
Link
able to?
copies. Yep. Once it's up, I'll be able to post all our.
Or you can do this even easier if you want. Just cut and paste it right into the live chat right now, and I'll create the PDF later. Either way, you know, are you able to cut and paste everything into the live chat now?
Sent.
Oh, here it is, the Google Docs. If I just go to Google Docs, got it,
Yep.
got it. Yeah, I see what you've done. Okay, good.
Keeps everything nice and orderly, so everything is all set up. So if anyone wants to go back to it, it's all there.
Okay. Now, have you been able to take any of your own notes as well through this? Oh, there it. Oh, I see. Just a second.
Oh yeah, everything is on here.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, so I will work with that. You don't have to do anything more, and you will get the 5 out of 5. Let me just put that down. Olive, 5 out of 5. All right, everybody. I'm going to sign off from the sunroom here. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say before we conclude? Otherwise, have a great weekend. It's going to be nice, apparently. So enjoy.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
So for this week, we don't have to do like a discussion. Like, can we just focus on our assignment?
No, you have to do the discussion post for sure. So that continues. And there is your assignment coming that's due on the 14th. So you got to do both.
Okay,
Discussion posts happen every week. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Okay. I don't see any more questions. Okay, Jackie, have a good week. I'll wait for everyone to leave, then I'm going to save the live chat. Good. Go ahead and sign out. And good. Thanks, Avery Rose. Have a good weekend too. Okay, great. Okay, let me save this. Done. So we're done.